Hello, survivors. It's fantastic, Mr. Ghost. Oh, and we're gonna talk about Fortitude today. One of my favorite. Well, they're all my favorites, but this one's fun. Fortitude and all the things you can do with it. Let's get started. All right, enough screwing around. Let's get to it, folks. Let's get some perks going here so we can test out everything. And just like anything, you start out, you're a weak little glass jaw in the game. You have to build your character up. So here we are, Fortitude. And you have your top level attribute. You have to level these up in order to unlock all the other ones as you go. You get 1 point free. So you can start off by doing all these. Now, I don't usually do the knuckle wraps and all that. They are fun, though. And usually I go towards, well, I don't know. I was playing Perception here. I like the spear now because you can go through the door and you can stand back and not get hit. So I do like the spear for the distance on it. But we're talking about Fortitude today. So we're going to stay within that realm. And we have a lot of good stuff in the Fortitude tree to help your character. And one of the, well, right off the bat, we have Pain Tolerance, Iron Gut, and Cardio. Now, let's briefly talk about the Healing Factor. The Healing Factor isn't as good as it may seem. And I've been doing, listening to a lot of other folks and their takes. And Healing Factor takes away from your food pool to heal your character, and just eat the food, you know what I mean? So all the foods that you eat in the game have a medical part to it. Water doesn't. Food-wise, you get some kind of medical part to it. So Healing Factor is it's nice that you can eat the food, and let's say you're running away from an enemy, you're going to get a little bit of healing. So you don't have to fumble with first aid maybe, because you can run around a little bit and get your health. So in a pinch, there are instances where this might help you, but from what I found, just preparing and getting ready for a fight is the way you can avoid dumping points into Healing Factor. Now, and that's the other point here too that I want to make is 5 points can be spent somewhere else. And one of those would be the living off the land here, for example. So Healing Factor is probably it's not as good, like I said, it's not as good as you think. And I have been not taking it in all my test playthroughs that I've been doing, including the one I did, the first series I did when 1.0 came out. I did a strength build, and I did not take Healing Factor at all, and I did not feel any difference, like, oh, I'm so much weaker. No, don't even bother with Healing Factor under Fortitude. So let's go down the line here. We got the Brawler, we've got the Knuckle Wraps, the Iron Knuckles, and the Steel Knuckles. Those are the ones you want. The Steel Knuckles, you need to find the Steel Knuckle parts in order to craft them. You can't find them in the world, buy them from traders, of course. So we'll go through and check those out in a second, all those perks there. Then you've got the Machine Gunner. And then Lightning Hands, which is locked until, I think, level 3. Oh, it's 4. Now, this sucker, when you start getting the Quick Jab, these are fun to get. All the perks, all the trees have some kind of faster something, right? Faster reloading, faster this. And this is a part of the knuckle, the punching. Now, a lot of these really here under survival are not important. The Huntsman, I've tried this one. I think, no, I haven't ever taken this one. Usually by the time you get to the Burnt Forest has a lot of hogs that you can kill. And then when you get to the desert, there's so many animals running around. You don't have to worry anymore about food. It is a little tricky to get food in the green biome here, the pine forest. So you can respec your perks if you want to take this just to get, a little leg up on your food game in the beginning. But there are by far better perks out there to get. For example, under strength, Master Chef would be one I would rather take because it takes less ingredients overall. So in all these trees, you have one perk you get for free, and I would say Master Chef is probably better than that one because you have to find all the products. So it's not just meat; it's all the other stuff. Now the other thing about Master Chef here, and this is comparing to the other one, the Huntsman, is you have cook 40% faster, and again, use 20% less of recipe's main ingredients. Now, well insulated isn't a factor right now in version 1.1, which is what I'm on up above, as you can see. They are going to be adding the weather, clothing back into the game. I think they pulled it out because of the armor sets changed. So just be aware that currently, well insulated doesn't do anything for you. Don't even bother putting a point into this. But it may come into play later. And, it's kind of nice to have, but if you find the right clothing and you're able to swap in and out, you shouldn't have to put points in well insulated. But it's just more of a convenience if you're out and about, and it depends on how often you're going to spend time in the desert and the winter biomes. Those are the two that you have to worry about. Once you get through those, if you dip in, to the winter biome or the desert to get shale oil, I think it is, or oil shale, maybe you're going to get some snow for some yucca smoothies or whatever. You could throw on some gear and go in there once they reintroduce it. But I wouldn't bother putting points in well insulated at all because you can mitigate it with clothing eventually, and it's basically turned off right now. I would say living off the land is more of a multiplayer kind of thing. You got a group of folks playing, and you got one person who's going to perk into Fortitude. And a lot of these perks, I should say, they're specific to a player, and it's relying on, or a character build, and it's relying on too much multiplayer. 7 Days to Die, the Fun Pimps need to get away from this kind of tree that they have here and allow players to have skills and perks, because I might want different things for my character build to make it a more enjoyable experience. What the Fun Pimps need to do is just break down and put skills and perks in the game. If you just have a perk system, it doesn't allow the character much agency in how they want to build their character. So the perks are the specializations, and the skills are general that every player would want. And one of my biggest complaints is locking miner 69 or under strength when everybody has to mine to build bases, whether you're single player or multiplayer. Everybody has to build a base. And then there's also the question of food too, which is it's Master Chef. Why is Master Chef under strength? That's more of a intelligence or intellect, and I think they should have a hunting tab here and allow players to perk in. So my suggestion has always been, in the last couple of these that I've done, is I've done Perception, Strength, and now Fortitude here. I'll try and link them in the description box so you can watch those if you want. But they need to take the Fortitude attribute and make it just a perk and not lock all this stuff behind it. So take away the level gating here and just make these more expensive. So these are just one perk point a piece. That's fine for what they have here. But if I'm playing a Fortitude build and I want to get into the other ones, then just make Fortitude, this attribute Fortitude, just make it 1 perk, 2 perk, 3, whatever. Like I don't mind this, having a 3 points times 2, and then you got 2 point, and all this. I don't mind that. What I do mind is that you have to invest into the Fortitude attribute just to get these higher levels. So that's why I say they need to get away from this perk-only system and go to a skill system. But as it stands right now, what they need to do is just take away the level gating on the top level here, and then make it where it's 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, or 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. So there's the cost goes into the actual Brawler perk, for example. And if you want to get better at all overall, you want to get better headshots, better damage, then make this the one that's tougher. Because I don't care. What I want is pain tolerance. I don't want Fortitude because these are all geared towards the damage output of all the weapons here. So it doesn't make sense to make this gated to gate all of this with a perk system, with a perk, an attribute that I don't even care about because I'm playing, say, a strength build or an agility build. So they need to kind of work this a little better and make it such that it's easier for players to perk into other areas. So let's carry on here. We got living off the land here. This is the farming. So yeah, if you're doing multiplayer, this is really helpful. I've never taken these at all because I usually find enough food out in the world, and you can make grilled meat all day when you go out to the desert or the winter biome. Just popping bears, you know, mountain lions, those little foxes or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called in the desert. So yeah, you're popping those suckers, and you can make grilled meat all day. In fact, I have more meat than I can know what to do with, usually by the time I get out to the winter biome. So then I'm just cooking that. So what I do is I'll find seeds in the world, and I'll plant those seeds, and I put the farmer gear on, and that gives me perks for harvesting. So once you find the farmer gear, make level 5 or 6 or whatever, you know, kind of make that if you can, and then you basically don't need to take living off the land. Now, pain tolerance is really important for this one, and pain tolerance is important for all the melee stuff. Even this, you know, perception, strength, agility, intelligence. This perk here, it kind of makes sense to be under the Fortitude, but this is one of those general purpose perks or skills that I would want to have separate. So I'm okay with it being here. It's just they're locking it behind, again, that attribute. So you definitely want to get these here. Reduce HP loss. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's crazy. Look at this. 20%. 80% less chance to get stunned. Now we got reduced HP loss by 25%. And have no chance to get stunned. So this is a really good one. Being stunned sucks. Now, like I said here, the healing factor, if you read this thing, it says specialize in boosting your natural healing rates as long as you're not starving. So that's your only clue to it takes away from your food pool. And it says self-healing will not work when you are out of food or water. There's your other indicator that you have to have food in you. But what it doesn't tell you is it takes from your food pool. So, I can't be hungry. Oh, okay, cool. So you're thinking at first, if my food is low, I don't get the healing factor. No, if you have, it doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work if you're hungry, but if you are full, it drives it down. And then you have to eat more. Now, I like Iron Gut. I always take one level of this right out of the gate. So you have, it's physical exertion. Reduce food and water loss from physical exertion by 5%. And then there's this holding breath thing, and then chance of dysentery is reduced. Now, one of the most important things about this perk here, buffs from consumables last 10% longer, and that helps out a lot. So when you're taking candies, eating the candies, drinking coffee, anything that you would eat to get a buff lasts 10% longer. And it goes up from there. And then we got 25 and 50% longer. So this is a really good one, especially for Horde Night. You can get the Grandpa's Learning Elixir, and there's all these, candies you can take before a Horde. And if you can double stack them, you can take 2, and once you get this maxed out, that will last the entire Horde Night, which is really nice. Now this one I like a lot too, the cardio. Now, if we look at this here, it says train your body in number 1 tactic against zombie menace, running away. So just put one foot for the other. You are now a hiker. Increase stamina regen by 10%. Now it says when sprinting, and I think it's kind of weird, but you need this obviously when you get in trouble. And also I think that the regen happens when you're doing other things too. So now we have 20% when sprinting. So basically you can run pretty far. And when you're on the bike and stuff too, I think it affects it there. And this one is 30. And you really do notice a difference when you take these and you're doing all these activities in the game. So there you go. Now, let's get to the Brawler here. So we got knuckle weapons, deal 10% more damage. Punches to the head, negate infection ability. Stamina costs are reduced by 8% and 50% for power attacks. So this is going to be the general, setup here. And then you find more knuckle weapons and parts in loot. So that's another key thing if you want to find more. You want to obviously craft these things, right? Now when we get to level 3, this is where it gets good. A lot of level 3 stuff is you're really feeling it now. And where it starts to shine here is right here. Killing blows grant 10% stamina. And I wish it stayed on. So, yeah, now you're getting stamina back for killing blows. So this one is really fun. The level 5 knuckle weapons deal 50% more damage, have a higher chance to explode heads with punches. Now that is some fun stuff right there. So now we got machine gunner, and this is where I really love the Fortitude build for the machine gunner because you get the M60. The M60 is a beast, and it's so much fun when you're doing 64 horde zombie. You max out your zombie hordes to 64, and you got a base that's just built to take it. You can sit back with that M60 and just bop, 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 farm experience. It's amazing. It's so much fun. Again, all these are kind of the same for up to level 3. You got 10% more damage, 5% faster fire rate, 10% faster reload. You find more parts and 7.62 ammo in loot. Now, this is a really cool one here. The Commando Adrenaline. Each shot scored with automatic weapons give you 2 stamina. So that's a nice little bonus because when you're aiming down the sight, it takes your stamina down. So here on the level 5, we get each shot scored with an automatic weapon gives you 6 stamina. So pretty much all the same. It goes up and up and up. So that's pretty nice there. So now let's max out the character here. Now, one thing I'd like to note here is, I think it is Penetrator right here. And this is something that you definitely want to take a point into if you're going to be doing this. And it is ignore 10% of armor with firearms and archery. Firearms and archery, 20% of anything with target armor reduction. Yeah, this is affected by the snipers. Lever action or sniper. So the 7.62 AP ammo does work. It's just you're not going to get the penetration, but I picked it anyway. Now, another thing that's very helpful for all character builds under the agility is parkour. I always take at least 1 rank. 2 is great. 3 is where everything starts to shine in the game. And also, I should mention too, medium armor, it depends on what you're rocking though. So this is another thing that annoys me is they lock these behind strength and agility. Like, why is agility medium armor? That should be light armor. And fortitude should be medium. Strength should be heavy. So I don't understand that one. Again, the armor should be under a general purpose skill. Because it depends. I might want to use this armor for here and that armor for there. But when your fortitude is kind of like you're going toe to toe. So not having any armor perks here does not make any sense to me. That's why it should be a skill. Okay, now let's go over the weapons here. We have the knuckle wraps, the iron knuckles, like I mentioned, and the steel knuckles. So I got all the stuff here. And we have melee damage candies. I always forget about these things, right? But they do help if you're doing a horde night for the first couple days. If you can afford to pick up at least one of these to help you through that, get you over that hump to get to the next levels, So you do have the candies available. Now, of course, you start off with the pipe machine gun. In fact, Rect will give you a choice between a machine gun, the pipe versions, the pistol. I always pick machine gun because you can hold more in the magazine and it uses a better ammo, 7.62. So if you put that point right into machine gunner right away, then boom, you're going to start getting that ammo quicker. The machine gun doesn't do much, but it's better than nothing, right? And I never make a level 6 pipe, although I do have it here, just to showcase it's 37.5 versus 30. So you get more damage output. But what I'm usually doing is I'll maybe make the level 5. But there's better weapons in the beginning for other things, like you get the pistol, or it depends. I like to do melee to save ammo for Horde Night in the beginning. I tend to kind of downplay and not make the machine gun, like the pipe machine guns, although you do need them. It depends on your playstyle, of course. So now, one thing that kind of confused me with this particular tree here, the Fortitude, the AK-47 machine gun, okay, I get it, but the tactical assault rifle, and I thought the rifle was a part of the perception. It is not. This is an automatic, weapon. So the tactical assault rifle is a part of the Fortitude build. So getting back to the AK-47, not a bad weapon, 40. So if you stop at 5 here, which you probably should, you got 36 damage there, magazine 15. Now you're up to 30 with a 40. So yeah, it's not a big jump, but it's good enough. Rounds per minute is the key here as well, 360 versus 335. Now, the AK isn't really a good weapon. I made a level 6 one time. I'm like, oh, I'll make a level 6, and I regret it. So we're up to 47. That's 49. So not much of a difference between the 5 and the 6. And then you're getting into the tactical assault rifle, which you can do a lot of crazy stuff with. These are really fun to do, have. So now we have 53, and the rounds per minute goes up to 405. And if we go up to the level 6 here, which you can't, I would say you're safe to do a level 6 at this point. Even the AK at level 6, I think you're good, because these are really good weapons out of the gate. So we got a 66 ranged 405. Now, you notice it doesn't go up. These are all, that's 360. Yeah, these are all 360. Okay, so the rounds per minute stays the same no matter what. It's the damage output there and the durability. So now you're up to, 405, max durability 700 on this thing, and magazine 30, same thing for the AK. Now we got the M60, and this, like I said, this is a tank. This is a clear the room gun. This is so much fun. So you got 70.2, fire rate 440, so we can compare that to 405. And of course, the fire rate stays the same no matter what level you're at. So 70.2 versus 87 without mods, of course. Magazine size 60, which we can make even larger. And the range is 60, effective range. 1100 durability. So does the range go up a little bit? Effective range, yeah, it goes up each time, 1 point. So there you go. And then we got the 7.62 regular, the high power, and the AP. I usually, when I get to a point in the playthrough, I would just make these AP ammos, and it rips through everything. So let's talk about the books here. Now, I picked this sniper one here. This is Reload Rifles. Like I said, if you see this, I don't think it applies to anything under the Fortitude build. So I wanted to point that out, that this is more for the sniper rifles, not the tactical. Then we got Sniper Volume 6, which includes the 7.62 ammo. It does 7.62 ammunition, or let's just learn to craft it, and then do more damage against armored opponents. So all the enemies have some sort of armor rating. That's why I love this stuff. And then this one here is the high power 7.62, and it falls under the sniper set. And then we have automatic weapons handbooks, and once you collect all 7, then you get a bonus perk. So we've got let God sort them out. So we have automatic weapons do 10% more damage here. Fully automatic mode does 1% more damage per hit until you miss. And what that's, I think, talking about is this trigger group, full auto. So you have to have that mod installed. And then we have here, automatic weapons have 20% less degradation. Really nice for a Horde Night. Craft drum magazines. And then we got an accuracy here one that's for the fully automatic fire. Then we got Chance to Ragdoll. That's so much fun and very powerful too. If you can Ragdoll enemies, they can't get you. They're on the ground. Then you can focus on the ones that are coming at you. And this one here is interesting. You can save your ass in close quarter situations, aiming from the hip accuracy. Then we got the bar brawling ones here. These are so, I don't think they balance this out. I think they have an error in the drops of these, because I find these before, I don't even perk into these sometimes, and I'm finding them all over. So deal 10% more damage with fists, leather, iron, blah, blah, blah. Then we have a knockdown, which is really important. This book is crazy important. Oh, and this here is a really nice one. 5% damage with each kill, up to 15. All of the melee weapons have this, and you'll see a little indicator here of, yeah, you killed somebody, it goes up 10, or it's a hit, 10%. Yeah, with each kill. So when you kill a zombie, 5, and it'll show 5, 10, 15. It's so much fun, because when you got a group of enemies, you're like, bop, 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 and you can go all ham with them. 20% damage to knock down enemies and stunned opponents. Oh, this is really good. When in combat, recovers 1 hit point with every punch. This is really powerful. So you don't need healing factor when you have this book. Oh, this is good too. After getting hit, brawling attacks are 20% faster and increase movement speed by 10%. So when you're toe-to-toe with these enemies, you get hit, now it helps you out. I love this one here. Drinking beer no longer blurs your vision, and your buzz lasts twice as long. Now, I don't know how it affects this book plus the perk, because when you increase the amount of the buff length, you know, so I would assume it stacks. And of course we have Furious Fists, improves knuckle crafting skill. That's how you're going to progress, you know, up to the ranks here. And then we have the Tactical Warfare. So you need that to get up to the M60. All right, some armor of note here. This is a medium armor biker helmet. You've got stun resist. You have melee weapon damage here, max health bonus, and reduced melee stamina. So these are pretty good for running around, maybe a horde night. And then I always include the nerd goggles here for an XP gainer, and it's a heavy armor. Just be aware of that. When you're running around and you're just doing base building, it's nice to have this food water usage down. If you get the level 6, put the helmet on. You don't even need the full set. Just put the helmet on. And this one here reduces stamina recovery cost, which is nice. But the helmet alone is food and water usage decrease. It's up to 100% or something. It's insane. You got a run speed on here. Now, radiated damage is nice. So if you want to mix and match your armor sets, you can. So when you start seeing radiateds, maybe you want to, you know, switch it up a little bit. And then if you're going toe-to-toe and you want to build a heavy armor build, the Raider helmet, stun resist. And then you've got the natural crit healing, melee weapon damage. That's another one that you can do before you get radiateds. And then safe fall distance is always nice. And then the full set bonus here is reduce the chance of critical injuries. And some other noted ones, range damage. Now, the commando gloves, I think, are affecting the sniper rifle. So be careful on that because I do not think it includes anything under Fortitude because it's not scoped. So I think they need to make that scoped damage for the commando. But again, you know, I could be wrong on that because if we look at let's go to the M60 here, it says ranged. So I'm thinking that this affects all of the weapons, whether it's a sniper rifle under perception or the rifles under perception and the automatic weapons under, you know, the Fortitude here. Okay, now when it comes to mods, what I do, these are all the mods that you can put on to these weapons here. And the best thing to do is just have them in your inventory and you can see which ones will apply. The cripple 'em mod, I don't really use this, chance to cripple a leg on a bipedal target. It'd be nice to, but there's other mods that are better. You know. So here's the drum mag. You could put that on to the M60 here. Oh wait, that's the pipe. So you have the muzzle brake, diverts propellant. It's supposed to reduce recoil, but I don't see a difference in it. And then you can do a suppressor as well. You can't place these on at the same time. It's either the muzzle brake or the silencer. It's not an and or. And then you have, for all of the weapons, I think even the M60 here, yeah, you have the drum magazine and the magazine extender on all of those. Notice how the trigger group full auto mod is not applied to the M60 because it already is. However, it does apply to the pipe here. It applies to the AK-47 and also the tactical assault rifle. So all these apply here, as well as the silencers and stuff. I have the scope here to showcase that these weapons cannot be scoped. Now there's other variations here. You'll notice that, let's go ahead and modify the pipe. You can put the foregrip on here. It's hip firing. You have the handling and aiming, so placing the bipod mod and the muzzle brake is probably a good idea for Horde Nights. And then you have this one where it's more manageable in close quarters here. That's a nice one to have. So that about covers it. Now I have on here the full auto mod and the rad remover. So when you start to see the radiateds, you definitely got to start checking them traders and get a rad remover mod for all of your weapons, including knuckle wraps. So speaking of which, let's get into those. You can see the mods. I have the rad remover on. You have a weighted head. Now this one here, it does a stun and slows victims. Really good to have in the beginning. And if you can fit it on, always put it on there. Structural brace lowers degradation. Then you have weapon. This is decrease melee stamina usage by 10%, which is really good in the beginning because you're going to be a weak character. And then, now, I don't really care for this one, the Fortifying Grip mod, because if my health is 50%, I'm running away. And I don't know if it goes all the way up to 100. I think it just stops. So I don't waste a mod slot with the Fortifying Grip mod, although it depends. If you want it on there, go ahead and put it on. But yeah, I don't really see the point. So now we got the Iron Knuckles. Same thing applies here. Rad remover I have in there. And then we got the weighted head and all that stuff that I mentioned earlier. The Steel Knuckles are a different breed. You can now do bleed damage here. So you have the bleed. You can pop that on. But you cannot mix and match this other one here. This is the Diamond Blade Tip mod, which is super late game. By the time you get diamonds and you find the book to make these, because you can make all the mods, you know, obviously. This one here, weapon degrades 30% slower with this modification. So it's a hand tool. So the knuckle wraps are considered a hand tool. Now, they have blades on them. That's why you can do the serrated blade and all that stuff. So pretty cool. Oh, look at that. We can't put the weighted head on there. So let's take these out. So yeah, look. Oops. What happened there? Oh, I put the T there. So the serrated blade and the tempered blade cannot be stacked, obviously, with the diamond tip. So let's take the diamond tip out. Yeah, so we can't use the weighted head, but we can put the diamond tip blade mod in because it's a degradation mod. Now, I doubt, let's see, this one here is degradation. Yeah, so you can't stack it. So this one's 25, and this is 30. So you definitely want the diamond blade tip if you can get it. Otherwise, just go with this one here. That's if you care about the degradation of the weapons. But I would rather have the bleed. I'd rather have bleed. But it depends. If you have you know, it's one of those things. You got to choose what fits your playstyle. I like bleed. I try and play it safe. Pop, pop, run. You know, kind of back up a little bit. Let them bleed out. Kind of maybe pop another zombie. Try and get bleed on another one. Let them walk around and scream like a you know what. All right, so that should cover all of that. Now let's go ahead. Let me go into God mode here, and I'll showcase. This is the base I used for the sledgehammer base, or the strength discussion I did. And you'll notice that this is a ladder base. It is effective until you get dogs. But the way you can use this base to you got to get throwables, and you can take care of the dogs, or you can shoot down on them. You know, it's one of those things where, yeah, it's going to be tough to handle zombie hordes in the first couple horde nights if you're playing every 7 days. So I have ladders on all 3 sides here. They come up. This is a thin line. You can do the post. In fact, I have a post right here. What happens is zombies will come in and they go, and they fall off, you know. So it's a fall base. It works really well. I have this part right here for a sledge turret, which I have right here. So eventually when you find one, you can place a sledge turret down. So let's go ahead and take out our cool knuckle wraps here. And I got this border over here so I can walk around. Let's spawn some zombs in. I always like my Arlene's. I'll do a bunch. There we go. We'll put a couple businessmen in there, you know, because we want to sell some stuff. And let's get... Oh, I got to reload this one. Ooh, look how fast that is. There we go. Come on down. There we go. So I want to showcase the knuckle wraps here really quick. Now I put this pole in here because the zombies they get squeezed in. So I'm hoping that fixes it. Look at this. Oh, she fell. So I'm doing power attacks right here. Here comes our businessman. Right in the head. So the melee is amazing. I love the fists. It's fun. I don't prefer it, but let me tell you, the damage is so much fun just smashing the zombies in the face. Come on over here, you idiot. Looks like I'll have to pop him. Oh, he's getting pushed. Oh, there we go. There's a head pop there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can just rock power attacks all day with this. It's crazy. Once you get it perked up and you're maxed out, these things are a massive damage dealer. So, oh, hi. Let's go and take care of him really quick. Whoops. There we go. One hit. That's awesome. Oh, hey. What are you doing down there? Oh, somehow this got destroyed. How'd that happen? All right, let's get some more Arlene's. We're going to do Look at Me, Spawn 25. There we go. We'll get some bikers in here, too. So let's go through and, we'll check out the different weapons here. They're all pretty much... The pipe is trash, obviously. Oh, by the way, this is bird defense up here. I just put them there as a reminder. You can use wood spikes on the top of your base. You don't need shotgun turrets. You can get them later, but in the beginning, you're not going to have to worry about it. Look at this thing. This is nuts. This is a level 6 pipe. So you can just sit up here and just pop heads. Now, obviously they're not running, but you get the point, right? Very slow reload on the pipe. But pretty darn good for a level 6. So here's the AK-47. It's got that nice clack noise to it. Just mow them down. Fast loading, kind of. Now see how they're getting on top of each other there? That's what I worry about. And this one's got that nice thunk noise to it. I love the tactical. And then the Big Daddy M60. And it's got that nice sound to it. I love this M60. This is one of my favorite weapons in the game right here. Of course, the sniper is probably my number one. Now, I don't have the books read, so you're not going to see the little green thing on the lower left, but you'll know it when you see it. Oh, one thing I should mention, I forgot I put these here, is if you're going to be rocking the 7.62, you can go ahead and put the SMG turrets if you find them, buy them, whatever, because you're going to be building up a lot of 9mm ammo, so you can either sell it or not, or use it in SMGs. Oh, and another thing, too, I want to mention here. Oh, look at this. She's just hanging out there. This is 15 meters high, so the fall distance if you're up 15, the zombies won't go into destroy everything mode, but it's kind of subjective based on the environment and everything, because they might fall on another zombie, so it's 14, or they might fall on this little edge over here, so it kind of negates it. So I think that I've covered everything under Fortitude that I want to cover. It is a really fun, enjoyable, massive build. Let's see what we got here. I think I can punch it. Yeah, oh, there we go. It's 352. Yep. So, yeah, if you keep pounding it with the M60, we should be able to blow it up. There we go. Cool. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the discussion on this. I think the Fortitude build is, I would say, strength is probably baby's first, build in 7 Days to Die. Then there's Fortitude, which is pretty good. Well-rounded. You got, great melee in answer to the zombies with the melee, the fists. Gets a little tough in the beginning because you got to get up close to them and bop them. So you may take some hits. That's what the pain tolerance is for, though. And then you've got really good weapons, fast rate of fire, good, ammunition clips, or, magazines. So pretty much all the guns within Fortitude are really good. So, but when you get into the other ones, like the Assassin, you only got a handgun and a knife. Pretty tough, so you have to rely heavily on sneak in that build, of course, which will be the next one. So again, I hope you enjoyed the discussion and the showcase, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.